Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a story for you here today titled 33-year-old wife discovers that her dream guy, who she destroyed her marriage for, doesn't actually want her. This is something that I find endlessly hilarious. Is you will have these wives, you will have these girlfriends who, they leave their boyfriends, they leave their husbands because of some Chad that they used to hook up with, right? Some dude from her past who was attractive and tall or whatever. And these guys never actually want a relationship with these women, but the women are so blinded that they don't care, right? They think that they're going to get the relationship. And of course, they never do. And if they do, it fails anyway. And the women end up crying and regretting everything. It's peak comedy, in my opinion. But guys, before we jump into today's episode, don't forget to like the video on your way in. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment, and let's take a listen to what this nonsense is about. So it's a 36-year-old guy. A 36-year-old man recounts the turmoil of watching his wife of 8 years abandon their stable marriage to chase a fantasy with her dream guy. Usually also the women abandon these stable marriages because they get bored. Okay, a lot of people won't tell you that, guys. They'll say, oh, I'm doing all the emotional labor. That's why I left the man. Yeah, usually it's because they're bored. I wish I could word it in a different way, but, thus is the state of affairs, unfortunately. He says, I'm a 36-year-old male and my now ex-wife who's 33. We were married for 8 years. We were not perfect, but we were steady. We had the bills paid. We had the house in a quiet neighborhood. Great stuff. We had a dog. Excellent. They had a dog, date nights once a week, and he said, I thought that mattered, but apparently it did not. She had always been a bit of a daydreamer, fantasized about what-ifs and meant-to-bes. I chalked it up to harmless imagination until one day it wasn't. He popped up out of nowhere. So this is a friend from high school. It's always a friend, isn't it, guys? It's, oh, he's just a friend, or, he's just some guy I know. Like, it's no big deal. Usually they have a strong interest in this man previously, but they refuse to actually tell you that that's the case. And women will always pull this card. Men are wising up to it these days. It just makes women sound stupid when they say, oh, he's just a friend. It's turned into a meme. Women have used this lie so damn much. He says he popped up out of nowhere. Let's call him Brad. She said he messaged her on Facebook after all of these years. At first, it was casual, just catching up. Then came the late-night texts, the long phone calls, the emotional distance. I confronted her, and she swore it was nothing, said I was being paranoid, said that I didn't trust her, but the truth has a way of revealing itself. I always find these interesting, when women accuse you of having trust issues, by the way. But as far as I'm concerned, if your wife of, 8 years, is having late-night phone calls with a dude, let's just stop it there. Late night phone calls with a dude. Me personally, I think the trust has already been broken. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, why is your wife having long ass phone calls with dudes that she used to know? Can I ask that question? Oh, but no, you're so insecure. That's horrible. Yeah, okay. I guarantee you if the dude was doing the same thing, by the way, the woman would have a massive issue with it. And as she rightfully should, right? Like, why would a dude be having a long-ass phone call with a woman at nighttime? Makes no sense. Just in general, why on earth would you be doing it? I don't know. It's stupid. Absolutely stupid. She admitted that she was confused. One Sunday afternoon, she sat me down and told me she wanted a break. She felt like she had, quote-unquote, settled too young. Yeah, no, this is no break. This is, I'm serving you with divorce papers ASAP. As soon as I get a hold of my lawyer, we'll get those divorce papers drafted right up. She needed to find herself. The translation, Brad was back in her life and she wanted to test drive the fantasy without calling it cheating. Yep, that's accurate. He says, I just said if you want to walk out that door, there's no coming back, and she walked. Okay, I mean, this tells you everything you need to know. Okay, you call it a wrap here, you get the divorce papers in order, not a problem. She gave you all the information you needed, excuse me. And even if you didn't know the outcome of this story based on the title of the video and of the article, this was obviously never going to last, guys. Like, when women go out there and they pull this crap, it never lasts. I can tell you, it never does. It might last, a few months, maybe a couple of years. Always blows up in their faces, guys. Always does. He says 2 months later, I heard through mutual friends that things weren't going so well. Brad wasn't interested in a real relationship, just a fling. He still lived in his bachelor pad, bounced from job to job, and wasn't looking to play stepdad to the dog that we used to walk together. She thought that she was leaving for Prince Charming, but she got a guy who couldn't remember to pay his car insurance. Oh, that's beautiful stuff, man. Beautiful. I love to see it. And I don't even hate this guy, by the way, right? Like these dudes in these stories, like Brad in this particular instance, right? Like, I don't even blame these guys. I have more of an issue with the wife, in my opinion. You know, the wife is the one who chose to leave. This guy's just like, I do have an issue with this guy in the fact that he probably knows that this woman is married, so that's incredibly cringe. So I take that back a little bit. I do have an issue with the dude for that particular reason. But at the end of the day, the woman chose to leave. Okay, there's always going to be some guy who's in her ear trying to tell her that, you know, oh, I'm interested in you. There'll be some like womanist in her ear telling her to cut her hair short and telling her she can do better. There's always going to be terrible influences. I have more of an issue with the wife. He says, she messaged me around month 3. She said, I made a mistake. I miss us. She sent pictures of old memories, asked if the house still looked the same, said she missed the way I used to make her coffee. I didn't reply. She left a man who showed up every day for a man who never planned to stay. I should have a coffee after this video, honestly. Her friends stopped talking to her. Even her parents told her they were disappointed. I know this because her mother still talks to me and she always thought of me as the quote-unquote son she never had. Turns out they knew Brad wasn't good news either, but she was too stubborn to listen. Yeah, you can't really, these women who go out here and make these decisions, they're not going to listen to you, right? They're not going to listen to the voice of reason. They like, if they ignore the red flags of the guy, which I guarantee you were there, by the way, what makes you think that they're ever going to listen to you? You know, they will sooner listen to their womanist, quote unquote, best friends who actively sabotage their life. Like, guys, did you know how much women try and sabotage each other's love lives? It's actually crazy. And they'll believe each other and they'll listen to each other because it feels good, right? Oh, yeah, you know what? I do deserve better. I can go out there and get that better guy. And before you know it, the women are like 37. You know, they've got nothing to their name. They've completely screwed up their life. And I get to make a video out of it, right? So it's a win-win all around when you consider it, really. He says, it's been a year. I've met someone else. She's kind, she's grounded, and doesn't fantasize about what life might be. She works with me to build what is. No drama, no guessing games, and my ex still texts me on holidays. Why don't you just put her out of her misery? You know, just block the woman, right? Holy hell. Still comments on my dog's pictures, but the door is closed. I don't hate her. I just don't love the version of her that needed to blow everything up to learn a lesson. Yeah, I mean, she was probably cheating the whole time, in my opinion. Like, again, with this kind of stuff, the cheating happened back when the woman was doing the phone calls. Okay, they just like to gaslight you and call you insecure, even though they were already, you know, essentially out the door by that point. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.